Hi guys, welcome back to What Matters CIC. My name is Joanna Briggs and today I'm going to be talking about the workplace. 5 stereotypes that I've found to be true in the corporate space. So if you are someone who work in the corporate space or you work in the public sector, to be fair, I think a lot of it will be interchangeable. Then let me know in the comments because it'll be great to hear from you. So when I was actually thinking about this, it made me laugh because I was writing them down, and I thought, wait a minute, hold up, hold your brakes. I'm still working. I really do think they're really relatable because when you start working, you hear all of these things. It's kind of like when you go to uni, everyone's telling you, oh yeah, it's going to be this, that, the other. Everyone's speaking from their experience. And part of you thinking, well, actually, is that going to be the case for me? I remember when I first started at the place I work now, I just thought, oh my goodness, like I'm going to be the only black girl. And like everyone's just going to be really passive aggressive, or like I'm just going to have to fight my way through this. And like I may not last there for a really long time. But actually, lo and behold, I'm still here, and that hasn't been my experience at all. I've really enjoyed where I work. I really like it. But it isn't to say that there are still some things that I've noticed that are like, yeah, so that's what I'm going to be sharing. So the first stereotype that I realized was there is a lot of money to be made, but there isn't one size fits all on how you make it. When I first started the company, I remember the first day that I was headed to the doors and like everything was glass and everything was shining. You know that feeling when you're first starting like a job and you're just like, oh my gosh, like I'm just so excited. And you know, you're like waiting in reception and everything just looks so nice and you're like, oh, I made it. You know, that's exactly how I felt. And then the longer I've been there and the more conversations that I've had with people, you know, you start to realize, oh my gosh, actually, like there are so many opportunities for me to actually do really well here. But you also start to realize that there are so many different avenues, and it's really trying to think of what makes sense for you. I think I'm going to do another video on branding. It's something that I speak about all the time. Wherever I go, if you know me, I talk about it a lot. But it's really all about thinking, who am I? What kind of things am I really good at? What kind of things do I want to be better at? Where can I position myself within a workspace or wherever you are to actually maximize that time with this person or that time with this group of people or whoever or wherever I am.
I'm going to wait for my washing machine to finish because it's shaking. It's shaking.
So the longer I've been there, the more I've realized how important it is to talk to the right people about the right things. If you know that you're joining a company or an institution that you know money's, top of your list, or you really just want to make bank, but you don't know how to do that in your company or what that looks like for you, make sure you start speaking to your network. The longer you're there, the more people that you'll know. People will know things that can help you get there. There will be schemes that you can join at your workplace that can really maximize your salary. You can put money towards savings. You can put money towards shares. Oftentimes, there's things that you can do to really help yourself out. So yeah, I mean, the stereotype about being able to make a lot of money is true. It's just how you get there. You will decide. And part of it will be decided for you depending on who you know and how close you are to the right people, so on and so forth. Now, I'm actually not sure how big a stereotype this is, but working smarter, not harder, will actually get you further. Maybe that's just a lesson that I've learned. I don't know. Let me know if you've heard this as a stereotype, but it's 100% true. As in, working super, super, super hard doesn't always necessarily mean that you're going to get the results that you're looking for. However, working smarter will more than likely actually reap the rewards that you're looking for. Working harder looks like working all the hours under the sun. You've got headaches, you're not thinking straight, you just want to get to the end result. You're not really thinking about the process to get there. Working smarter is actually being diligent with the work that you're going to do. It's prioritizing. It's actually thinking at the beginning of the day, these are the tasks that I have to do. What takes me the longest? What needs to be done the quickest? Or what has the shortest deadline? How can I maximize the hours in my day to actually get the most done, producing the highest quality of work? That is what working smarter looks like. And quality over quantity most of the time works far better than doing loads, actually making loads of mistakes, not doing it well, people not actually liking your process, because all of that really does aid to you either moving forward or not. So really trying to think, how can I work smarter in my 8 hours, 10 hours sometimes a day, and what can I do here? Another thing is diversity. You can't talk about work without talking about diversity. It is a big hoo-ha right now. For us, those who fall into the category, it's been the case our whole lives, but everyone seems to have caught on now, especially the bigger companies. And you will find that the stereotype, which is true, especially in the corporate world, is that diversity is found far more in junior roles rather than as you climb, progress, and you look at the top. It is a massive shame, and I look forward to the day where it is no longer a conversation, because we just see the changes actually happening. We actually just see the fruits of everyone's labor, and you just see diversity of all kinds across the board. I've sat in meetings and stuff where I've heard people say, and they're looking around in the room, and like, and I'm really proud that like we are so diverse. And I'm just looking around like, sorry, you talking about me? Especially when they're talking about, racial diversity, you're just like, I am the only person contributing to this diversity that you're talking about around this room, around the organization, or whatever it may be. And, one thing that I find companies do a lot is they focus on the diversity, which looks really positive, i.e. we have promoted these women on the board. When you start digging about how many are part of the LGBTQ plus community, how many are Black or Asian minorities at that level, things like that, that's where it starts to be sticky, and that's where they don't really like to divert their focus, which is, a massive shame, really frustrating. But it is something that, if you did want to enter those spaces and wanted to change that, there is a lot of work to be done, which means your hands will be full. But sadly, that is a stereotype that is around. But hopefully you end up in companies which either that isn't the case, or they're really far ahead in working towards changing that, so you feel it far less. And that is something that is interchangeable in other companies as well. I think not just in the corporate spaces, but when you look at the public sector as well, you will find that on the ground, people working, the front-facing people that you may see will look diverse. When you look at the decision makers, the people who are earning far more, the people who their output looks very different to actually being on the ground, that's where you see it getting less diverse, far less. So sadly, that is a stereotype. That is a shame. Has to be reported, but it is. So just be prepared. As you climb, it will probably start to look very different. It really does matter, and you see it. It's not to say that how you dress is the only way that you can present yourself, but it's character, it's integrity, it's the way that you show up every day to your job that really matters. So think about presentation as a whole. How you show up to work really matters. So be mindful of that. Even if it is having a pep talk with yourself, even if it is you've had a really bad meeting, or you've made a mistake, or you're just not feeling right, go to the bathroom, even at work, take a deep breath, think about how you want the rest of your day to go, and you'll really see differences in the way you can progress, in the way that you build and maintain relationships, and in the way that you are perceived. I know a lot of people hold anger towards the idea of, why can't I do this? Why can't I just be myself? Yada, yada, yada. But sadly, that is just not the world that we live in. We all judge, we all make judgments. It is the way that our brain makes really quick decisions as to how we are going to survive. That is ultimately what it is. That's where it comes from. And so you want the best chances in life, whatever path that you want to go on. So just be really diligent with how you want to present yourself, because that is another stereotype that is absolutely true in the workplace, as it is in other facets of life. So those are my 5 stereotypes that I have found to be true in the workplace. Let me know if you agree with any of them, or if you have any others. It would be great to hear from you. As always, make sure you like and share this video with anyone who can find it beneficial, and I will see you on the next one. Bye for now.